Matt, I see on my statements after the name of the mutual fund, it indicates Class A or Class C. What does that mean, and what's really best for me?
Well, the mutual fund share class is how the fees work on a mutual fund, and sometimes one class is better than the other. It depends upon your situation. How to know which one is right for you? That's the topic of today's video, mutual fund share classes. People with mutual funds will come to me and they'll say, Matt, I really like my mutual funds, but I'm not sure what all these letters after each of my mutual funds means. It'll say something something A or B or C or I. What does that really mean? Well, those are the share classes of a mutual fund. A mutual fund is simply a collection of stocks or bonds or stocks and bonds with a manager that buys and sells on your behalf. Now, the manager has marching orders, if you will, on how to invest you, and you can look that up by reading the prospectus or looking online at Morningstar or Yahoo Finance. It'll have a description on the investment style. But every manager needs to be compensated, so the fees work differently depending upon the share class, whether it's A, B, C, or I. And that's what your statement is telling you, which type of share class you're in. Now, A shares are upfront sales charge types of class to the mutual fund. With an A share, you can pay as much as a 5% upfront fee, but depending upon the size of your investment, it could be as small as nothing, no upfront fee, if you're investing $1 million or more. So you can reference this chart that we're showing on screen now, or email me, and I can send you a copy. So with A shares, you pay an upfront sales charge, and in exchange for that, there is no back-end surrender charge, sometimes known as a contingent deferred sales charge, CDSC for short. So you'll pay the upfront sales charge. There is no contingent deferred sales charge, but there is an ongoing management fee with the mutual fund. The manager likes to get paid. The typical mutual fund has a management fee of about 1%. Some can be more, many can be less, but we'll just use that as an example for discussion purposes here today. So you've got the upfront sales charge, a 1% management ongoing fee, and then no sales charge or surrender charge on the back end. B shares is yet another way to invest in the same mutual fund. You'd have the same manager with the same underlying investments, it's just the fees work differently. With B shares, there is no upfront sales charge. The ongoing management fee, though, is a bit higher. It typically is 0.75% higher each year. So instead of having an ongoing management fee of 1%, you'd have an ongoing management fee of 1.75%. Now with the B shares, there is a sales charge on the back end, a contingent deferred sales charge, also known as a surrender charge. And this surrender charge typically starts at 5% and goes to 0 over 7 years' time. So during those 7 years, you are paying the higher ongoing management fee of 1.75%, but at the end of those 7 years, the B shares actually convert to A shares, so that now you have the lower ongoing management fees of 1% per year. But if you think about it, if you're paying an extra 0.75% for 7 years, you've actually paid more than the maximum upfront sales charge of 5% over those 7 years in the extra ongoing management fees. So generally speaking, A's are better than B's. But there's certainly a notable exception, and that is for IRA money. Many investment providers will waive the contingent deferred sales charge on B shares if it's a withdrawal that you're taking from an IRA account. They figure once you hit 70.5, you have to start taking money out whether you want to or not. So most providers of mutual funds will waive the CDSC. I would suggest that you find out for sure whether or not your mutual fund provider does that. If you're not sure, that'd be a great reason to shoot us an email or pick up the phone and give us a call, and we'll take a look into it for you and let you know. So for people who were uncomfortable paying the upfront sales charge, or they didn't want to wait around for the surrender charge to work itself off, the industry came up with C shares. C shares have no upfront sales charge, and they only have a 1% surrender charge, but it goes away over 1 year's time. So after 1 year, you can withdraw everything without any type of expense. However, C shares have the highest ongoing management fees of all. So in addition to the regular 1% management fee, they have another 1% additional fee on top of that. And unlike B shares, where it works itself off over 7 years, this extra 1% fee never works itself off. One of the more disheartening things that I'll see in my office is folks who will bring me their IRA statements showing that they've been in C shares for decades, because that means they've been paying an extra 1% per year in management fees needlessly for decades. And over time, that really will damage the growth and the lifestyle that you'll have in retirement off of your investments. C shares are really only best if it's for a short-term investment, 1, 3, maybe 5 years at most. If you're going to be holding this investment for more than 5 years, stay away from C shares. Focus on A or B, depending whether or not it's IRA money and how much you're putting in. Now, over time, a fourth share class has been created, and that would be the I shares, I for institutional. It's when you're working with an advisor who has a large portfolio of clients and they're able to get a group pricing because overall they've exceeded that $1 million mark. I shares are like A shares but without the upfront sales charge. So it's 0% upfront, it's the low ongoing management fee of 1%, and there's no surrender charge on the back end. So you can have the exact same investment but have it work 4 different ways, A, B, C, or I in terms of fees. Which one is right for you? Well, hopefully this will help you answer that question for yourself. But if you'd like to talk to a trusted individual to help guide you through the process and help you understand for yourself what you've got currently and what would actually be the best in your situation now going forward, that'd be a great reason to reach out to us. You can pick up the phone and call us. We love talking to folks. You can send us an email. And if you'd like to learn more about other topics on investments and taxes and insurance, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're happy to be of help.